everyone, welcome to ActiveLab. My name is Alina. I'm an outreach associate here with ActiveSGV, and today we have a special guest, Pablo.
Hi everyone.
Pablo Tamashiro is the owner of Cyber Yogurt here in El Monte. It's currently a really beautiful day, so I'm excited to be here with Pablo and learn more about our parklets.
Hi, thank you for having me here today, Alina. I appreciate you guys taking the time to talk about the parklets, and I appreciate you guys featuring our local business here in the city of El Monte.
Yeah. So tell me about Cyber Yogurt. How did you first get started and open it up here in El Monte?
So Cyber Yogurt has been operating in the city of El Monte since 2009. We're a 100% family operated business. We're not a franchise, so we're a single location. We like to say we're the only ones in the world, because we are the only ones in the world. Mm-hmm. And it started as a venture after I finished my time in the service. Mm-hmm. I was an Army food service specialist, which is an Army cook. And then after I finished my time, I wanted to get into the food industry, because that is my passion after all. But essentially I wanted something a little less intensive than working in a full service kitchen.
Right.
So I started the frozen yogurt shop. It was a very good success. We started branching out in a couple of different items, kind of keeping up with the health conscious theme and just kind of keeping it clean and healthy. And 15 years later, we're still here.
Wow, that's awesome. Do you have like background in culinary experience or no?
Yeah, so my family has been in the food industry for many years. I started in a Mexican restaurant when I was 14. I kind of did a little bit of time at a sushi bar. I also worked in a French cuisine restaurant. I actually went to Le Cordon Bleu in Pasadena when it was there. So I'm a graduate from Le Cordon Bleu, and after finishing Le Cordon Bleu, I joined the military and I became a food service specialist, and then that led me into this.
Nice. And so why did you figure El Monte, reside in El Monte, to open up a business?
Right. You know, when we were looking at locations, we ended up finding this spot. The rent was amazing, so it was that was obviously a big sell point with it. Back then, there was not a lot of competition in this general area as far as frozen yogurt shops. If you remember, around 2007 to 2011, the frozen yogurt industry was booming. They were popping left and right. So there wasn't a lot of competition in the city of El Monte, so that was one of the biggest sales points for us.
Aside from having a business here in El Monte, I know that you're pretty involved in the community as well. Could you describe more about that?
Yeah. So that didn't start from the beginning. At the very beginning, when Cyber Yogurt first started, we were just like many other businesses, all about, just the profit margins and just trying to keep the business successful, trying to keep the business afloat. That was like our main focus for, I would say, probably the first 6 years of Cyber Yogurt. It wasn't until around 2014, 2015, when my son started asking more questions about the environment and sustainability. He started asking questions about recycling and some of the things that he could do to help improve the community. And I mean, he was really young at that time. And obviously, as parents, we try to influence our kids. We're trying to teach them, how they can do a little bit about recycling and the importance of it and stuff like that. But in his little mind, he started asking really serious questions like, well, it's good that we do this, but is this really going to make a change? Are we really doing enough? Can we do more? And I think for me, that question that hit the most is when he asked me, is there going to be a future for me? Right. And then what are you doing to provide that for me? So that was a catalyst for me. It was a trigger point. It was a wake-up call where I was like, you know what, he has a valid point. As businesses, we're all concerned about the bottom line, which is profit margins. Mm-hmm. But there are bigger things in place. There are bigger things that we need to focus on, not just about bringing in the money. So that was a huge turning point. That we started slow. We started looking at different ways of being more sustainable, minimizing our waste. We started retraining our staff as being more conscious about wasting water. Little by little, we started looking into nonprofit organizations in our community that we can partner with. ActiveSGV, one of the very first ones that we started working with, and we started asking questions to our vendors. Where is this from? Where do you guys source these products? Do we have more sustainable items? Can we use more compostable? Right. So it was a slow process that just got triggered by my 6-year-old kid asking me as an adult, are you doing enough for the environment? Are you doing enough to keep a future for me?
Yeah, it's important. I feel like little kids just have a mind of their own and they're just asking questions, but then when you get down to it, it's like, oh yeah, they're really onto something. And for you to just take that information and run with it is really inspiring, honestly, because I feel like not a lot of businesses have a way to do that. So for you to do that, it's pretty inspiring.
Yeah, I do believe that as a small business, there's more small businesses in this country. We can definitely make a bigger impact than the bigger corporations, but at the end of the day, it comes down a lot to the consumer.
Yeah.
You guys, the consumer, you guys have the final decision as far as where do you want to put your money on? Who do you want to support? You want to support a big company that is not really doing anything for the community and they're just taking all the money out of the community and sending it out elsewhere? Or you guys want to support local business that are making a change in the city, making the change in our local communities. So we have been embraced. We are extremely thankful for our community. We're extremely thankful for the city of Monte and people in surrounding cities because they have supported our decision. It has not been an easy decision for the most part, but everybody has been very open-minded and very supportive of the changes that we've been making.
So how did you get a hold of ActiveSGV and how did you start this whole collaboration in the parklets that are here outside today?
That has been a long process. Obviously, we started with ActiveSGV because we started getting some of the active members coming by to the yoga shop a few years back, and they were our customers at first. I started getting more involved with the different projects that you guys do, like the open streets, and just engagement with the concept of just stepping away from fossil fuel vehicles into more of the open streets and just the sustainability behind it. And little by little, we just started collaborating more and more. A few years back, ActiveSGV started the whole program of El Monte bike-friendly business district.
Yeah.
So, when they brought that up to our attention, I was like, yes, we want to do that. We want to definitely be supportive of that. And, I was trying really hard to see how we can, do the most of our part with that project. That project has ended, but we are still on board with it. We still offer 10% discount for members, so the community coming with bicycles, and we give them an extra 5% if they come in with a helmet. So it's always our little way of telling the parents, hey, get a helmet for your kid.
Right.
And they're for it, and we get tons of people showing up all the time still, and it's hey, I have my bicycle outside. Perfect, we'll give you a discount. So even though the project has ended, has come to a conclusion, we are still, providing those discounts. And we are not just limiting it to bicycles, people coming on scooters or coming with skates, skateboards, anything that is just removing vehicles from the streets. It's something that we can get behind.
Nice. I actually heard that at one point you were doing delivery on a electric tricycle, right?
Yes, so we actually acquired a 3-wheel motorcycle. It was called the Solo. because it was a single passenger vehicle. It was manufactured by Electromechanica. It was fully electric. It was able to give us about 100-mile range to it. Unfortunately, there was a recall on the vehicle, so we had to send it back. And as of right now, we are actually waiting for a new vehicle that's going to come out. It's a new company. It's called Aptera, and it's going to be the very first electric/solar vehicle.
Whoa.
So as of right now, rather than buying a car, we are just kind of waiting for Aptera to come out. And the way that vehicle is going to work, it will give me about 60 miles a day on solar power alone. So, and I think the biggest vehicle they have, or like the biggest battery, it will give you about 1,000-mile range on a single charge.
That's
So
awesome.
again, we're still on board for sustainability, but rather than getting like something that it's not going to be beneficial in the long run, we're kind of more waiting for the new technology to come out. And it's a small vehicle too. It's kind of like the Solo that we had, so it helps with deliveries. But we are definitely trying to think more of like how can we even pull out of the electric grid.
And I know that you were talking about the community and how well they are in receiving all of the changes that you're making to be more sustainable. How have people been reacting to the parklets installation, like ever since you installed them?
It was a little bit interesting at first because of the actual location of the parklet. A lot of my customers were kind of concerned that it was part of Be Nutritious, but Be Nutritious and us, we have for years collaborated intensively. A lot of city officials kind of call us a little healthy corner of El Monte. You got Cyber Yogurt, you got Be Nutritious right next door to it. So when we were looking into setting up the parklet, obviously I spoke to the owner of Be Nutritious, Matt, and he was really supportive of this project too, because at the end of the day, this is something that was going to be affecting both of our businesses by losing the parking. So we kind of work on the parklet together. They do the setup in the mornings, and then we do the pickup at nighttime. Nice. So this way we win-win. So at the very beginning, a lot of people were concerned because they thought it was mostly Be Nutritious. But over time, we've been kind of letting everybody know, like, no, it's Cyber Yogurt and Be Nutritious. And I think that actually it's really neat and really fun, because we have customers that go to Be Nutritious, they get their meal, they go to us, they get dessert or they get a shake, and they sit outside and enjoy the weather. I know over the years we had people that go to Be Nutritious and they're a little hesitant to bring their food to our establishment, because a lot of businesses say I have a policy of like no outside food. We don't. We embrace it. If you want to go to Be Nutritious and get a meal and bring it to our place and get dessert, it's fine with us. And I know vice versa, they do the same thing. We've actually taken stuff that people order, and then we take it to Be Nutritious and they're inside. But now they can enjoy the outside weather.
Right.
So we see it all the time. I'll see people eating, healthy meal prep for Be Nutritious and having shake or dessert from us. So it's kind of neat in that sense. Community-wise, I've heard business owners have inquired like how they would get this and how can they get one too. So I know I have a lot of colleagues in the city that have interest as business owners, and I know that the planning department from the city of Monte has actually been getting calls from local business owners as far as like wanting to get a parklet in their business. However, since this is still a pilot program, there's still nothing it's said as far as like other businesses, but we definitely look forward to making this a standard for the city of El Monte.
So you do see it expanding to other businesses around here?
Yeah,
right?
there is interest. There is interest. So at the end of the day, it's about making sure that we let our local officials know that this is something that is there is interest about.
Nice. So give me a little brief background of the parklets for those who are listening and watching who know what a parklet is and who aren't familiar with it.
Okay. So the Parklet is started as a collaboration between ActiveSGV and the city of El Monte. They basically looked at for two local businesses in the city that would be interested in setting up the Parklet. So Cyber Yogurt was chosen to be one of them, and El Chamango on Main Street, our Valley Mall, formerly known as Valley Mall, they were also chosen to have a Parklet. So as of right now, there are two Parklets in the city of El Monte. We got the full support of Public Works from the city of El Monte, which they have been amazing to work with. They have been all the step through, any questions we have, any issues, they kind of like really stepped up in regards to it. Obviously, ActiveSGV, they've been kind of doing parklets in different cities. Montevelo, the city of Whittier, city of El Monte is one of them. And the idea is basically to provide an outdoor experience to diners, to try to make our city more friendly and to try to bring more outdoors sitting. As you probably are aware, during COVID, because of the pandemic, the city of El Monte started kind of allowing for outdoor seating, but it was set up more on a temporary basis. And then obviously once the pandemic started thinning out, started facing away, the city started kind of allowing the restaurants to do the outdoor dinings. But the community was still very interested in it. Not just here in the city of El Monte, but many surrounding cities. So the idea of the Parklet project as of right now is for the city of El Monte to start creating a more long-term project to allow businesses, especially restaurants, to do outdoor dining. Many restaurants obviously don't have the ability to expand the dining area, but by allowing parklets such as this one, we can allow for higher capacity and more customers, more patrons to come in and sit and enjoy. I know that there's a lot of projects in the works right now to enhance Main Street. Some of them will also be like outdoor dinings and things of that nature, eliminating more of like the parking on the front. So this is a project in that direction.
I know you mentioned Main Street. Aside from the parklets, do you envision anything besides the parklets going on Tyler Avenue?
If there is interest from business owners, then yes. I think a lot of things can get done on Tyler Avenue. It is a very high traffic street, but it's not a main street. It's not like Valley or Santa Anita. So I definitely feel like we can definitely get more done out of the streets, considering the amount of city events that go through here. That we have the Rock of Wednesday concerts just down the street. We have the children's parades that happens every year. So there's quite a lot of events that kind of happen on Tyler. We're so close to two schools, a library, and things of that nature. So there's definitely potential for Tyler. But I know the city is focusing on Main Street being one of them, Garvey being another main street for those type of events.
Got it. What kind of things would you like to see on Tyler Avenue?
One of the things I would like to see on Tyler Avenue would be more of the barriers that have been kind of set up to protect like the bike lanes from the car traffic. I feel like that would be beneficial to kind of provide a little bit more security for bike riders. I know trees. We've been kind of talking a lot with tree people in respect to that, and unfortunately we've been getting a lot of trees planted in other areas, but Tyler's still pretty bare when it comes down to tree planting. So I would definitely like to see more trees planted on Tyler.
I think I actually planted a tree with you. Were you at the Amigos de los Rios?
Yes, I was there.
With the tree people, right? Yeah, tree planting.
Another amazing organization that I'm happy to work with, and I'm happy to back them up with whatever they need. So.
Nice. So aside from working with ActiveSGV and collaborating with tree people, are there any other organizations that you collaborate with?
Yeah, so I'm actually the board president for Eco Urban Gardens. They're also a nonprofit based here in the city of El Monte. Their main focus is farm to school. So they manage the Arroyo, Mount View, Rosemead community gardens that the students kind of run. And I also just became the treasurer for La Madera Garden, which is a community garden here on Ramona and La Madera. And they have plots for rent, so adults can use those plots to grow some vegetables and stuff like that. On top of that, I'm also the co-chair for the El Monte Union High School District Oversight Committee. So I also like to be involved with the students as well.
Wow, you got a lot on your hands. How did you start getting involved in all of that?
Again, everything just started from my son.
Yeah.
He was the one that really pushed me to make a lot of these changes. And I felt like if I wanted to make change happen, I needed to step up. And then over time, as things have progressed and my involvement has grown, I get people reaching out to me and asking if I could do things like that. So obviously, this is not a nonprofit or we're not a nonprofit as a business, but we can also help on the nonprofit sector by working with different organizations of that nature. I was also appointed city planning commissioner for the city of El Monte. So that is also another way where I see myself able to make decisions and being able to guide the city and our community on the right directions.
How do you enjoy being a planning commission?
It is it's really rewarding. Being able to see the projects that are coming through the pipeline for the city, seeing the vision of where our general plan is taking the city of El Monte and the vision that we have for the next 5 years. The city it's an amazing community. I am proud to be here. And I think there's so much that is going to be changing in the years to come that people are going to be so excited. I know we're asking for a lot more sustainability, we're asking for more green spaces, we're asking for more environmental conscious constructions. So there's a lot going on right now in the city. It's just a matter of time.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I'm actually also a commissioner for the city of Rosemead, but on parks. I'm a parks commissioner. But yeah, I can definitely see that, like attending the meetings and getting everything done. It's a work in progress, but yeah, same page. I'm excited to see all of the projects going on in the San Gabriel Valley.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that pretty much sums up a lot of the questions that I had and for our audience. So I think it's time for office talk. So pretty much what office talk is we like to ask a question based on what we were talking about in the office at our team meetings at the Jeff Seymour Family Center. So today's question is, what is your favorite flavor of yogurt?
My favorite flavor of yogurt. How about I just show you?
Okay.
All right, let's go. Yeah, so I'm a chocolate addict. So my favorite one is our chocolate vegan yogurt. It's actually made with oat milk instead of dairy milk. So you're not getting any cholesterol, less fat, more fiber, and stuff like that. So my favorite is chocolate. So I just go crazy with it. So we get some chocolate. I like to add some of our vegan chocolate chips as well. And I like to do our fresh baked brownies that we bake in house. And then I like to top it off a little bit with some nuts just to give myself a little extra protein.
Well, I'm actually not a chocolate person, unfortunately, but I do like more of like the tropical flavors. And I was eyeing this strawberry tart or the pitaya passion tart. So I think I'm gonna do maybe a mix of both.
If you do the middle one, it gives you both.
Oh, really?
Yes.
This one?
Yes.
Oh,
if you do
that's
the middle
awesome.
one, it just halves it in half.
Whoa. Perfect. I didn't know you could do that.
And then we have fruit, we got candies, we got chocolates, all different kinds of things that you can add to it.
I think I'm gonna do some mixed
Can
nuts.
I get 2 spoons?
Cheers.
Cheers. How about we go enjoy it at the Parklet now?
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for listening, and shout out to Pablo for having us here do this podcast with him, and also for the really yummy yogurt. So it's a beautiful day, and summer's coming. So if you want some yogurt, check out Cyber Yogurt here in El Monte. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check us out on Instagram at ActiveSGV. Also follow our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.